Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're going to be pruning up the pink Bougainvillea that my broski Matt Brennan sent up from Florida. He sent me a handful of trees, and for the most part they've done really well, so they're all getting their first pruning. Today's is going to be the pink Bougainvillea, so not a long video, but if you don't know, it's a flowering vine with some thorns, really popular in bonsai, and this one has some great branching already. So with my other tropicals, over the course of, it's late February, but over the course of March, I'm going to prune those to hopefully get an extra pruning in, added to the growing season, and get that extra ramification. So, pruning the pink Bougainvillea, that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. So, probably gonna hit the camera when I swing this thing around, but check out that nice big canopy. More importantly, let's look at the actual tree. So it's comes in pretty woody for new growth, and then it gets greener towards the end as far as the branches go. These nice spade-like leaves, and they come in a nice light green and they get darker as the age goes, and then they've got these brutal thorns. They're probably only a centimeter long, but they're consistently going up each and every branch, so you just be careful with those bad boys. I'll probably forget and stab myself a few times. I thought Stella was going to be joining us for this video, but my wife got a call from a friend and they disappeared, so I said, you know, it's probably easier to do it without Stella, with the thorns. I do have a lot of fun with her. I'm sure you've seen her in the videos. So there's just some little dead ends from, I'm assuming, an initial pruning from Matt. Like I said, I did not touch this bad boy. And it's like so cool if it would survive year-round here outdoors. This is one that I would choose to put up on a vine fence. I had a vine fence when I lived in South Carolina, and I had orange trumpet vine growing up all over that, and honeysuckle, and the combo of those two, it was so fragrant. You know, the butterflies loved it, and gave you some privacy with flowering vines, so that was really pretty dope. So I just have, this is a non-decorative rock. This is because the soil is really light. That's what I did. I think I repotted it. I did not prune this. Anyways, it's a nursery pot, so it's plastic. The soil's nice and light, so I put a rock on here so that it wouldn't go flying over, because a lot of times I display my bonsai on top of the railing on my deck. So, first branch I see that's terrible. You can see it from there. It's coming across basically from the apex right here. So I'm going to prune that totally out. My intention today is just to shorten this up to where I would like to see branching starting. So I haven't really looked at the profile too much. I was just appreciating the flowers last year and hoping that it survived. You know, transitioning climates, traveling through the mail, and then you know, going indoors to outdoors, all those things can really mess with your trees. So if I wanted it to be a cascading tree, I would probably be into these branches, but I think I'm even going to remove this one entirely. I have other ones going out that way, and I think just down low, I don't want that. Okay, so that guy's gone. It's got a pretty cool shape to it. You know, divides here, got a nice little branch here. It flows this way, but then this branch pulls it back, and it's got some more branches pulling it back. So I think I want to keep it even and bring this one back. There's a bud facing up here that could bring some interestingness, so I'll give a little bit of room for dieback. I'm not going to try to propagate these cuttings, but with it being a vine and tropical plant, that's what happens when you hit it so many times. All right, let's see if we still got it in view. We good? Yeah, we're still good. wanted to get a view of the trunk and, you know, this going up, and you can imagine if you can't see every branch throughout the picture, you know, it's just, they're long. They're long, they're singular, they're not branching at all. So where I would wrap them around a vine fence to further grow the following years, with this one, Bonsai, I'm bringing it back to probably a canopy around this height, and then we'll hope to see lots of branching from there and beautiful flowering. This one on this side, it is growing back towards this one, so I'm going to prune that back hard. I keep switching between tools, which is funny because I've pruned a couple of the thicker ones with the snips and then thinner ones with the... I'm all over the place. This branch is interesting. I don't know if I love it or hate it, but it's gonna make it this pruning season. So this one is rather ugly. It comes straight up and then goes directly over. So I'm gonna take out most of the directly over, but I will leave that straight up because it could potentially fill a gap here if it is, you know, gonna have any active buds there. Right, got a little number there from previous pruning. Same here. All right, so this one I'll probably bring it back to, this is the last leaf, but there's plenty of nodes here. So I'll bring it back to within the pot to the highest facing one, and that's got one coming this way and one coming that way. I like that. The next bud was facing down, that would have been pointless. I think actually I might take this portion out. Yeah. I didn't like how it was going down and back towards the trunk. It just didn't fit with the rest of the branching. If it was one of the only branches, I might have made it an accent, you know, like the focal point. It had to go. I'd like to see this with a full canopy with nice flowering. Good ramification. Could be just chill and over the center, or if it just naturally wants to go this way, it's probably because it was facing towards the window this way, or the sun mainly, then I'll do it as a windswept. I love the windswept look, but you know. Right between, right here. This one here. Now that I have like the gist of the length that I wanted, it's a lot easier. I never rush, but you know, overthinking is a terrible thing. Overanalysis paralysis. Right, this top one, I'm gonna bring it back a little extra. I'll match it with this one. Boom, boom. This guy, bring it back to its last leaves. And this one goes out and then makes like a nasty L, so I'm gonna trim back to where it made that turn. You don't want always straight, but when they make like non-natural turns, it like distracts the eye as you're going across the tree, you know, when there's like just something going against the grain in a bad way. In fact, I'm gonna take this branch out entirely because it's growing back across the middle and it's crisscrossing with this one above. It's not nice. And it's actually growing, I didn't really notice at first, pretty close to the crotch of these two branches here. So we wouldn't want that there anyways. So I'm glad I caught that. Sometimes I do these videos and then I'm watching the video and I go back and make an extra couple of prunes because I see it on the TV, you know. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. All right, this guy. I don't think it's too crowded over here. It could get too crowded. I think I'm gonna take out this one. Yeah, because it's a thick branch here. If you can can see it. It's thick, and then it turns and goes off, and it's going between these two branches, which are already there, and they have a nicer flow. This is just a little too thick for this height. So there goes that. I think we're getting somewhere here, people. You know, I think I'm going to take this one out too. Do I want to do that? I'm going to take out this one. It's too thick for that high, and it gives me that ugly L. I'm getting freaking crazy with it now. Okay. And then this one down here, coming out. All right, and then I'll just shorten this one again. Yeah. All right, get some of these dead leaves out of here. I got a good tip from one of my broskies with the citrus that I pruned yesterday to water, might have said mist, and then put a plastic bag over it to imitate like a greenhouse and get some extra humidity in there and all that to get buds kicking off. And I'm thinking that it would probably work with this too. So I got to figure out how to do that. It sounds like a great idea because we have the heat on in the winter, so it's definitely a more dry climate inside the house than it typically would be. All right, so that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Really digging this. So I know I enjoyed myself, and excuse Stelly's crazy little morning mess over there. So from my family to yours, y'all, hope you're enjoying your winter and looking forward to spring like I am. For my family, yours, cheers.